Welcome back. This is Michael Williams, and in this video we're going to continue working through the immersion process. So go back if you haven't. Watch or listen to. I'm going to provide the audio for the first video because I know, listen, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't really like to watch a lot of instructional videos. You probably wonder, why do you make so many videos? Because some people like to watch videos. I'd rather listen to audio. So I have a huge audio book collection. I've listened to audios for decades now, so I prefer, and sometimes I do like watching videos, but I prefer listening. So I'm going to provide the audios for you, but I want you to go back and watch or listen. It's very important because we talk about what it means to immerse yourself and what that process is about. In this second part, right, we are going to be looking at how to immerse yourself to change your mindset, So let's take a look. I want to pull up this particular slide for you. 3 steps, 3 things that you're going to need to do, right, to change your mindset using this immersion process. And the first step is to watch or listen to 1 training module per day. And when you see the immersion tool, which I'm going to put up in the next video, when you see the immersion tool, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's in section 1. It's 1 page, right? It's 1 page that you can go to that has everything you need to change your mindset and your speech. In section 1, there are training modules that you can go through to learn the speaking skills that you need to learn, right? To learn how to articulate better, to learn how to modulate your voice, to learn how to use body language, to learn how to structure your presentations. So we're not just talking about speaking skills, we're also talking about how can I structure my presentation? How can I go through a presentation process where I can speak without notes, where I can speak freely and confidently, yet be very precise, be very organized, okay? Be very articulate, be very cogent in what I'm saying. How can I be engaging? That's all in the modules. So you watch or listen to 1 module per day. Now, look at the title of this. It says, do this every day, all day. There's some things I want you to do all day. This is one of the things I want you to do every day. Listen to 1 module per day. And when you're done going through the modules, go back through them again. Why? Because the first time you listen to it, you're going to miss most of what's in there. You're going to catch what you need to catch. You're going to catch what you want to catch. So there's going to be stuff that you're going to miss. So the more you go back through it, the more you're going to catch. Does that make sense, right? So you want to go back through it. Watch or listen to 1 module per day. Step 2. Listen to, and I have a couple of specific audios that I want you to listen to at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. Get Started Speaking Easier, right? Get Started Speaking Easier. And the Passive Learning Power Program on Rhythm, right? These are 2 audios. One is about 34 minutes long to Get Started Speaking Easier, and the other one's about 20 minutes or so. And you want to listen to these multiple times a day, but at least once. Why do you want to listen to this every day? Because when you listen to something, you learn it. And you learn it passively. Right? So you don't even really have to be paying attention. If you're just listening to it over and over while you're going about doing something else, while you're walking, while you're driving, while you're cleaning the house, or taking care, you're just listening to it. What's happening is the information is going in, your brain is absorbing it, and it's actually making changes in your brain, physical changes, because you're learning something. It's building connections in the appropriate areas that manage that information, right? So you're going to be hearing things that will help you change your mindset and your beliefs. One such thing is, I can take my time. I don't have to rush. I don't have to rush. I can take my time. I can say what I want to say. I don't really care what other people are thinking. I don't really care what they're saying. I can take my time and say what I want to say. That's a belief, right? That's a belief. It's a habit also. Because some people feel like they have to rush. They have to respond right now. Like it just doesn't sound right if they're speaking too slow. That they They just have to jump in. Someone says, hey, what's your name? I just got to go in. I got to give my name. They say, hey, how about this? Or what do we do? You just got to jump in right now and hurry up. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. Or some people box themselves in a corner. Well, if you ask me this, I have to say it exactly like this. It's not true, right? So you're going to be hearing this and also affirming this as you hear it, repeating it to yourself every day. Also, some people have gotten into the habit of speaking in a very choppy manner, starting and stopping, breaking what we call their airflow, breaking their flow, their rhythm. So in these videos or in these audios, you're going to be listening to something that helps you learn how to maintain constant airflow just the way that I'm doing now, right? Maintaining constant airflow so that speaking becomes very smooth and very easy and very relaxing for you. You can learn to do that, so you'll be listening to that. So it's important that you listen to it every day because it's affirming that you can do this, that you are going to do it. It gives you hope. It gives you confidence. It gives you courage. It makes you feel empowered that I can do this. And guess what? You slowly begin to believe it and actually start to do it. You actually begin to actually do it. Sometimes without even trying, but other times you do have to try. So you want to listen to these audios at least once, but I recommend multiple times a day. And these audios are located in section 2, right? And they're on a playlist. Boom, click it and just play it, all right? Number 3, you're going to say the following affirmations. Say the following affirmations to yourself, not just once, not just twice a day, all throughout the day. So let me get my picture out of the way, hopefully here where you can see it. And these are just a handful of the affirmations. Sometimes we modify them. You don't have to say all of these. You probably want to pick about 3 that you want to focus on. And one of them is that I'm a great speaker, or I'm an excellent speaker, or I'm an awesome speaker. You want to say this to yourself. Because if you say it to yourself, and let's just talk about talking to yourself. You talk to yourself. You have thoughts, you have impressions, you have feelings. You say, I just get that feeling like I'm not going to be able to say this. I'm going to mess up. Well, that's your self-talk. You're talking to yourself. So rather than allowing yourself to say stuff that's detrimental, that's negative, what you want to do is take that same function, right, that same power, and use it in your favor. Use it to help you. So rather than thinking, feeling, sensing, I'm not going to be able to say this, I know I'm going to get stuck. No, you take control of the steering wheel and you say, I'm an excellent speaker, I'm an awesome speaker. Of course I can say this, I love saying this. Now does that mean just because you say it 100 times or 10 times, or just because you say it for a week or 2, that magically you're going to be able to say whatever you're going to say? Well, for some people, yes. For other people, it takes a while, right? You got to remember, if you've been thinking and saying things for years, you have a memory built up. It's in your subconscious. It's literally wired into your memory. So what you're doing is you're not disconnecting that. It's not going anywhere. It's there. It's wired in. You're creating a new memory, new thoughts, a new way of speaking to yourself that has to become more dominant than the old way. How does it become more dominant? I want you to think of this like a relationship. Let's say you had an old relationship, and it was a relationship that you were in and it was going okay, but all of a sudden it started getting very negative and it was detrimental to you, to your emotional, to your physical health. So you had to break away from that old relationship, right? You had to break up. And now you have a new relationship. You got this new person, and in order to develop a strong relationship with the new person, what do you have to do with the old one? You got to leave them alone, right? You can't keep going back, talking to, calling, going out with the old person, right? You got to break it off. You can't go back and visit. You can't go talk to the old person. You've got to embrace and focus on the new relationship. It's the same exact way with these affirmations, with this new mindset, these new beliefs, this new way of speaking. You've got to focus on that and embrace it and disallow yourself from going back and revisiting the old way, right? When you go back and you allow yourself to fall back in, whew, I'm too tired, I don't feel like trying to use this new style. Oh, I don't feel like thinking this, I don't feel like doing the affirmations. You're allowing yourself to go back and embrace the old negative, detrimental relationship and just keep it strong. It already has a foothold, if you will, right? It's already there, so it's just easier to stay there, okay? So you got to break it off completely and stick with the new one. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, right? It's supposed to be uncomfortable because it's new. The process of nerve cells creating a relationship that is firing together and wiring together is and should be uncomfortable. It doesn't feel natural because your brain is having to consciously take a hold of and think about functions that should actually be natural, right? So your brain is thinking these new thoughts. Your brain is thinking about speaking a certain way. That's not very comfortable. Your brain doesn't want to do it. But guess what? The more you do it, the more you embrace the new relationship, the easier it becomes, the stronger the bond, the stronger the connections become. Is this clear? Right? Is this clear? Muy claro. Okay, good. Because that's the reason why you want to do this all day, every day, right? So that you can develop that strong relationship that replaces the old one. A second reason that you want to do it is because one of the problems that people have is that they forget, right? They simply forget to remind themselves to think a certain way, to affirm something, to speak a certain way. They just forget about it. So one of the ways to remind yourself is to make it top of the mind. How do you make it top of the mind? You listen every day, multiple times a day, to the audios. So it's there. You affirm every day, all day long, once an hour. Let me tell you what I do. I'm going to show you this. I got a little application on my iPhone, and you can get a similar one on your Android phone or whatever phone that you have, and it's called, let me get the name of it here. It's Ada Reminders. Okay, it's called Ada, A-I-D-A, Reminder. Ada Reminder. I don't know if you can see that. Ada Reminder. Okay, and what you can do with this reminder, because I have a few affirmations of my own, you can take this and set up just about 3 affirmations and have them come on or remind you every single hour for a certain number of hours throughout the day. One of my clients is doing this. I'm doing it. In fact, a few of my clients is doing it. So you set it up so that it reminds you. Okay? And when you do that, what begins to happen is, guess what? Thinking this new way and speaking this new way is at the top of your mind. So it's much easier for you to remind yourself, oh, okay, I need to think this way. Well, you know what? I am an excellent speaker. You know what? I don't have to rush. I can take my time. You know what? Let me just relax. Or you know what? Let me articulate a little more. So the more you remind yourself, the stronger those connections become. Does that make sense? So let's take a look at this. Well, let's go back here. Take a look at these affirmations again. So I don't have to rush. I can take my time. I always maintain consistent airflow when I speak. People love speaking with me. Another one says, when I speak, people listen. Right? You want people to listen to you when you don't want people looking all off when you're talking. I don't care what they say or think. I can take my time and say what I want to say. I'm a genius at speaking. These are some of the things that you can say to yourself. So you want to get to the place where you just pick a handful, let's say about 3, of these affirmations and say them, how often? All day, every day. Now, you would definitely want to spend some intensive time in the morning and the evening, right? I'd say start off with about 2 minutes of saying the affirmations to yourself in the morning and the evening, because in the morning you're fresher, right? You are literally coming out of sleep into what we call the alpha state, and then the beta. Beta is when we're wide awake, there's lots of activity in your brain. Alpha is where we're more relaxed. Our brain is more receptive to affirmations, the information, and so forth. So you want to do this in the morning and in the evening as you're going to sleep. But you also want to do it every hour, all throughout the day. Okay? So, what do I want you to know? What I want you to know is that you want to make sure that you do three things. You watch or listen to one module a day. Number two, you listen to section 2 on the Immersion tool, Get Started Speaking Easier, and the Passive Learning Power on a Rhythm. And number 3, you say the following affirmations, the ones that we talked about, and I'm going to give you a copy of this. You say these affirmations all throughout the day. In the next video, we're going to be looking at a format for you to use in your practices. Remember we said learn, practice, use. We're going to be looking at a specific format for you to use in your practices, and then we'll take a look at the actual Immersion tool. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video.